What's good, y'all? It's Young Guapo back at it again with peace of mind. Here to give you a piece of my mind to help you have more peace of mind. So let's get straight to it. Today's topic is boredom. Why you need to embrace boredom and why boredom is important for y'all. Alright, so the reason that I chose to do this topic is because I know a lot of folks nowadays do not be bored. Because we got so much distractions going on constantly. There's so much things that we could always do. There's so much things that you just don't, that just make you not really have to do anything important. Honestly, you could just spend your whole day just BSing your time away and just wasting time, not doing anything productive, not even thinking about nothing, and just be not even be bored. But you're not doing anything. Like, it's like you're active but not proactive. So my first thing is the reason boredom is important is because it makes you think. You gotta think when you're bored. When somebody is bored, you can't just sit there and just have an empty brain. Like, you're gonna be thinking about something. A lot of times, folks just be out here just going through life and they never actually have to use their own brain because they're always being told what to do, or they're always doing something that just is already stimulating their mind but not actually making something out of it. They're not doing anything with that stimulation. They're just stimulating their brain, stimulating that dopamine and making them feel good, but they're not actually doing anything good. You feel me? So you really gotta just be bored so that you could think. You could just sit there and think. Like, that's how you get great ideas. That's how people in all of history came up with the greatest ideas. That's why I feel like our creative, when it comes to like our community or like us human beings as a whole, I feel like the reason why we used to come up with stuff like everything that we got now for the most part is because people back then had so much less to spend their time doing. So it was like, geez, I'm so bored. What if I could fly? And then boom, an airplane. Or geez, I wonder if I can go to the moon. I wonder if I could go to the moon one day. But it's like you don't think about that when you're playing video games or when you're just BSing your time away. Honestly, you don't have time to think about stuff like that because you're thinking about what you're doing at that moment, or you're thinking about just everything that you're doing. Yeah, your brain's just being stimulated and you don't have time to really dwell on the thoughts of like, what am I doing? What do I need to be doing? What else can I be thinking of? Or like just being creative. And that goes into my next point, which is being creative. Being bored allows you to be creative because it forces you to think about random stuff. Like when you're just sitting there in the car, just sitting there, like just sitting and just looking out the window, you're not just staring out thinking, oh, that's a nice Lambo. Oh, look at that car. Look at that Nissan. Oh, Camaro. Oh, Chevrolet. Oh, Nissan, Honda. Oh, like no, you're just sitting there thinking. And you're just like, even when you're a kid, you just think about the thoughts that you used to have when you were a kid. Or like, if you ever been put in time out, me, I was a very creative child. So when I was put in time out, I would just enjoy myself, enjoy my own company. And I didn't even have a phone. So I would just literally just play with my toys or just create whole scenarios in my head and think about stuff because you don't have anything else to do. You don't have so much distractions going on all the time, and it gives you that space to be creative. You have daydreams. You think, wow, maybe one day I can be in the NBA. Maybe one day I can be an astronaut. Maybe one day I could do this. Maybe one day I could start my own business. Maybe one day I won't have to go to school. Maybe one day I could put my parents in a mansion. You just think about all types of crazy stuff about anything. Like maybe one day I could breathe underwater, and then boom, like scuba machine. Like it's just simple stuff like that. That's so out of our mind, out of possibility. But because you had that boredom and because you had that chance to have your mind just flow into creative thoughts, like think about when you're going to sleep at night. You're just laying there, eyes closed, and what's going on. Sometimes you can't sleep and you just there sitting, and all you could think about is everything, literally everything. You can't fall asleep. Your mind's just going. And it's like, wow, why am I just now thinking about this? It's because that's the first time you've actually let yourself not do anything. You put yourself to rest and you just laid there and you were still. That's why people say like stillness is important. Where like, I don't know, I don't really condone meditation, but people who meditate, I mean, they say they get to, I mean, you're supposed to empty your mind with meditation, so that doesn't count. But stillness, when you're still and you're like mindfulness, when you're actually thinking about stuff, reflecting on your day, reflecting on the things that you can do, And that draws me to my next point, which is inspiration. Like it gives you inspiration and helps you be more productive because you're thinking about things, and chances are you're gonna, one of those thoughts that you're gonna think about is your future and how you want to be, or like the things that you should be doing or can be doing at this current moment or should have done today, because you reflect on your past. And then you also are able to tell yourself like, okay, I've been reflecting on my past. I need something to do. I need to start doing something. I didn't do anything all day. What did I really do today? And you just sit there and think, and you realize you didn't do anything all day, and you don't feel good. So then you're able to get the chance to think like, okay, what should I be doing? That's why I encourage journaling a lot, because it allows me to take those thoughts that I get in my mind and put them into something that's actually tangible and physical that I could see. And when I see it, like, that's why you see this right here. This says every day like it's your last, and that's just something that I like to live by. So I want it to be seen in front of me, because I only write the most important things for my life on this board. So that's why I have things like this, and I have like to-do lists and things that are actually tangible that I could see. And once you see it, I mean, they say if you see, you could believe it. I got posters all over my room of just positive information, positive like affirmations that just help me. Like I don't read them every single day, but when I do read them, they're there and they help me, because I'm not thinking about those thoughts in the moment. But you get the chance to think about those thoughts when you're bored, because I don't just look at my walls when I'm busy playing a game. I look at my walls when I'm bored, and then I see it on my wall like, oh, this one says you only fail when you stop trying. And it's like, geez, what am I doing right now? I'm doing nothing. I'm not even trying. So I'm going to fail. Another one says, if you don't step forward, you're always in the same place. So it's like, it's just things like that. I just see it, and boom, just like that, my brain's off, going, thinking about that thing. And that just motivates me. Or if I'm bored, and then I'm like, same place. If I'm not moving, I'm not taking first any steps. And I'm thinking, I'm not taking steps right now. And I'm just thinking like, what steps should I be taking? It's just little things like that that boredom allows you to think about, because you're not thinking about anything else, or you're not thinking about an activity that you shouldn't be doing at that moment. And it enforces order in your life. It allows you to have actual like plannable steps that you need to take, because you thought about what do I need to be doing. And it forces you to take action, unless because you're just thinking, you're dwelling on your life. It forces you to think like, wow, what did I do? What do I need to be doing? Just things like that. But that's enough of why you need boredom. This is how to get boredom, even though that's something most people don't really strive. Like, you shouldn't always be bored, but boredom is necessary for action. I feel like it's necessary for growth and stimulation when it comes to like actual things that you need to be thinking about in your life. That's why I feel like boredom is so important, and that's why you should try to be bored. You should try to not do things that keep you from being bored. If those things are unproductive, and a couple of those things that I feel like majority of us struggle with or prevent us from being bored is, number one, telephones. If you're ever in a group of people, or just anybody, like even if your whole family's at the dinner table, if you are just sitting in the living room and you go with a group of people and everyone's just sitting there doing like just nothing. If you ever see a group of people just doing nothing, a whole lot of times, or even if someone's like on the bus just sitting by themselves, or you see somebody walking, it's like we can't even walk without looking at our phones. Folks can't even like live life without looking at their phones. Folks can't even go 10 minutes without looking at their phones. Some people can't just sit there. They literally cannot just sit there. It's been times where I've gone out to eat with certain people, and the entire time they can't get out. Like, not the entire time. If it's the entire time, I'll for sure say something, but I'll address that most definitely. But people who are just on their phones consistently checking, it's like, geez, don't you know that you have a life to live? Don't you know we got real life right here? There's experiences you could be making. You could like, you never think back like, oh man, remember that text I sent 2 weeks ago? Oh yeah, that was the best text ever. You never think, wow, remember when I scrolled through that Instagram post? Man, look at that meme. Wow, that was a great meme. No, you don't think about that. You think, wow, remember when I went to the amusement park 6 months ago? You think, wow, remember when I went on this vacation 2 years ago or 6 years ago? Those are the type of things that you think about. But it's like, if you're not present and in the moment, and you're just on your phone distracting yourself, then you're not going to have the opportunity or the chance to experience that life or that situation or whatever it is you're going through or doing at that time, because you're so distracted. Like, your mind's being stimulated by what's on your phone. Our phones are literally like whole computers or whole lives you can have in your phone. And it's to the point now where we're pretty much dependent on our phones, and our phones are necessary for our lives, but that doesn't mean it has to control you. It shouldn't have a hold on your life or your actions or the things that you're doing in your day-to-day life, because it's a tool. A phone should be used as a tool, not as a replacement for your life. It should be used as a tool to enhance your life, not a substitute for living your actual life. And another thing I would say is marijuana. That keeps you from thinking about stuff too, because when you're high, you're just like, I want to get high, let me have fun, let me just be high. And when you're high, you don't really want to do anything because you're so content with just being high and in your mind. So I mean, some people can be productive while being high, and it's like, yeah, you can, but when you're high, you don't really want to be. It's like, yeah, you can, and it's like you're low key forcing yourself to be. And if you are doing something productive, it's not really helping that action, because it doesn't really help anything in life. When it comes to anything that's productive, it doesn't really help. Yes, you can do it, but it doesn't help. It doesn't make it easier or better. Like, for example, some people like to drive when they're high, and it's like, okay, yeah, you can, but there might be a turn that you missed because of that high. There might be a little thing you didn't hear because you were so flowing in your thoughts, because of you were listening to all this music and you just couldn't focus. You couldn't pay attention. Maybe you hit somebody, you just missed that mark. Maybe you slammed on the brakes a little bit too hard just because you were high. But it's like, yeah, you could still drive. Maybe you didn't hit the car, but you could have avoided that situation, or you could have made the driving experience smoother and more enjoyable and easier for you had you not been in that state of mind. And this isn't to say that you guys shouldn't smoke, because that's for y'all to figure out on your own. But this is just facts. At the end of the day, I'm just here to give y'all the facts, give y'all my experiences and the things that I went through to help y'all out. And that's why I say, like, smoking, it just helps you to not be bored. It gives you something to do. And when you're not high, all you think about is like, wow, I want to be high again, because it's such a great feeling. You get that dopamine rise and you just feel so good, and you're just like, wow, I could be high all day. But when you're high, majority of the time you're not doing something productive, or it makes you not want to do something productive. And that's really not good, because then it keeps you from growing, really. Because, like, just think about majority of people that smoke a whole lot, and think about, like, just off of personal experience, whoever you know who smokes a lot, just think about how they spend their time, what they spend their time doing, their achievements in life, their progress, the growth that they've made since they started smoking. Majority of the times you see a correlation, and this is just what I've experienced in my life. You don't have to argue with me. Just go look at who you know and the people in your life. Just see the things they've accomplished, and don't be like, and then if there's somebody who is accomplished a lot, who has accomplished a lot, and they are very successful and they smoke, see how much they smoke. They're not blazing up every single day all day. And on top of that, they probably weren't smoking on their way up. They probably just started smoking, or are smoking now occasionally, because they've already made it. But it's not like they were smoking all day every day while hustling. For a majority of cases, there are always anomalies. There's always those few people, or the small amount. But I'm just talking about when it comes to majority of people, this is just facts. Alright, and then my next thing would be video games. Video games, y'all know the deal. You playing the game all day. You don't want to do nothing but play the game. You just getting them kills on the game, or you talking to your friends. You having the time of your life. And I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing, but it's just like, if you're doing it all the time, or you're not giving, or the only few downtimes you have, like if you're ever off of work and that's all you're doing is playing the game, it's just like you give yourself no time to be creative, to be productive, because all you're doing is stimulating your mind with just things that aren't really beneficial to your overall life. I mean, I do enjoy the game every once in a while. I play the game, I talk to my friends, I have a great time, but I also do other things that help me feel fulfilled and like productive, and just give me more meaning to life, because the game just doesn't do that for me. After about 2 hours on the game, I'm done. Like I literally can't keep going, because it's just like I'm bored. I need to do something, and it's not doing something. If you've ever been in a place where you played the game too much, you understand what I'm talking about. Even if the game is fun, there's times where you just like, yeah, I've played, yeah, I had fun, but I don't really feel good. I don't want to keep on playing. I want to get out. I want to do something. I want to do something, just anything. And that's just how it goes. When like that's why it's important to have boredom, because then it allows you the time to be able to think about those things that you need to be doing or can be doing that'll make you feel even better. And if you're not bored, then you're never gonna have to really sit there, and you never have to have a reality check and really tell yourself like, hey man, is this what's best for me? Is this what I should really be spending my time doing right now? Because your brain is always stimulated, and you never have to have those heart-to-heart self-talks. My last thing would be Netflix and television, just watching TV shows all the time, series, movies. Like, it's okay to do these things every once in a while, y'all. But it's like, if this is what you spend a majority of your time doing, if you're always binge watching TV shows, always binge watching YouTube videos, that's all you do, and you don't give yourself any time to just sit there and just think and just be present and just thinking about stuff. Like, you should be bored every once in a while. It's okay to be bored. Maybe if you're on a car ride, put your phone down and just look out the window. Maybe just if you're on the train, or the bus, just sit there, just sit there. If you're walking somewhere, walk and look where you're walking. Like, watch where you're walking, just look up and just live life and be there, just walk. Like, it's okay. You got to think, if it was impossible, then we wouldn't be here right now, because even phones as we know it weren't even there when I was born, and I'm 20 years old. Phones weren't there. The type of phones we have now were not as entertaining. Phones weren't literal computers when in 2001 when I was born. When I was like 4 years old, like, I remember, not 4, but when I was just growing up, there was no such thing as like touchscreen phones. Touchscreen didn't even become a thing till I was probably like 7 or 8, and like even then that was still like, it wasn't too common. And it wasn't until like I started getting older and older, and then they had the touchpad, and then you could flip the phone, and then all of a sudden the flip could be touched, and then after the flip could be touched, they had the iPod touch. And then like I literally saw stuff go from like the Nano to that's like a little box that you can't even like, has no screen, had no screen. And y'all gotta think, like, what did these folks do back then with stuff that had no screen? Folks used to have to use the house phone to call people. Folks used to have to go to the store, to the gas station, and buy like a scratch off card to talk to family members in other countries. Stuff that we could do now with like WhatsApp and stuff. If you were an immigrant, you know what I'm talking about. But it's just things like that. Like, but you wouldn't have even had the thought, or the person who created this touchscreen wouldn't have even had that thought, if that phone was entertaining enough. And it's like, they cater to our entertainment and our like ease of use, because everything in life is just about making everything easier for us to use, because the easier it is, I mean, it's just better for us. It's just better for us. We like easy things. You want to be able to heat your food up in the microwave. You want to be able to put your fries in the air fryer. You want to be able to take up airplane to get to the other country faster. So all this stuff, just making it easier for us, that's really the goal. It's more efficient. Efficiency is really just what we love to do. But now it's to the point where things are so efficient and so entertaining that we really don't even spend our time doing the things that we should be doing, because they take up all of our time, since they're so enticing. And we don't really need these things as bad as we think we need them, or as much as we think we need them. Like I said, a phone should be a tool for use, but it shouldn't be a replacement or a substitute for your enjoyment or your boredom. Like, you shouldn't have to be bored. You shouldn't have to be on your phone every single time that you're bored. Like, there's times where I really catch myself just scrolling through Instagram, just scrolling, and it's just like, man, this isn't doing anything for me. And I'll leave the app and go back, and I'm just like, geez, I was just here. What am I doing right now? What am I really doing with myself? What can I be doing right now? And I get off my phone and I just think. And a lot of the times, the things that I want to replace it with, they're not the most entertaining things in the world. But when I do those things, I do feel better about myself, especially at the end of the day, when I have that talk with myself, like, what did I do today? What did I get done? What didn't I do? What shouldn't I have done? And I'm able to really reflect and, adapt and go off of that. But I need that downtime. I need to be bored. And a lot of times you realize, like, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, they are boring. Like, because you could do that at any time, anywhere. That's why if you're ever out with somebody eating, it's just like, geez, I'm not more fun than your Twitter. Like, Twitter's always going to be there. Twitter's always going to be there. It's always going to be on the phone. You could always go on Instagram. You could always scroll. But now that you have me, a whole human being right in front of you, you still value that same app that's always there right in front of you more than the interaction that I'm giving you. And that really this is disrespectful, honestly. It's because then it's just like, I bet I'll dip, I'll leave, or I'll just get on my phone. But the thing is, I won't even get on my phone because my phone's not that entertaining to me. It is, but I don't want it to be, so I don't go on it, if that makes sense. And I try not to make it that entertaining because at the end of the day, it's not really that fun. Like, it's not, it doesn't give me any fulfillment. It's not really enjoyable. You don't make any experiences when you're on your phone. That's why when I'm ever with even my homeboys, my partners, whenever I'm with my family, I just really just stay off my phone. Whenever I'm with a group of friends, I'm off my phone because I know, like, I need this experience. I wanna be here. I wanna live this life. I wanna enjoy what I'm doing. So like, I don't watch TV shows too often. I love watching movies. I really, really love watching all types of movies, any movie, but I don't do it all the time. I don't do it every day. I don't do it every single day. And I really like some shows, but I don't watch those shows every single day because I know there are better things I can do in my time that will make me feel better, even if they're not as entertaining. And as you start to realize that as you eliminate these things from your life on a day-to-day basis, then you'll start to enjoy the things that you thought were boring, because those things will start to give you true actual fulfillment and make you content and enjoy your life, and you'll actually find joy in these activities, and you won't find as much joy in the other things because you start to realize how much better you feel from doing the things that you actually should be doing, such as, like, I don't know, working out, or eating healthy. Sometimes you would just want to go to the fast food restaurant and get some food that's already cooked that's bad for you, but it's like you can get something with less calories that'll make you feel just as full, that tastes just as good at home. It's just making these little decisions in life. And if you're bored, I mean, it's the same thing. Everyone just loves the ease of access, making things easier, but it's not really living life on hard mode, because overall, ultimately, you get better fulfillment and satisfaction and gratification from doing these things. And these things don't lead to temporary gratification, instant gratification, such as like watching TV, you feel great; video games, you feel great; smoking weed, you feel great; being on your phone, you feel great; social media, you get them likes, you feel amazing, but it's only for that moment. Meanwhile, if you start to think about the things that you actually be doing, then you might find that these things give you more enjoyment that lasts even longer. Like, say you start investing in a business or a skill, then you start to see, like, wow, I just did so good in this. I love the way it makes me feel. I love what I accomplished. I didn't know I could accomplish anything. And that sense of accomplishment is an amazing feeling that I feel like everybody should get to experience at least once in their life, because it is a great feeling that it just can't be beat, can't be compared to anything else, because it makes you feel whole, makes you feel like you can actually do something. And these are feelings that you can't really get when you're playing video games or smoking weed, because after you smoke that blunt, all you really did was lose $10 in 2 hours of your life. But if you, I don't know, start working on a skill, build a business, it's like after you're done with that, you have money to show for it. You have actual things to show for it, and you feel like a better person on the inside. That's really it. That's really all I got for y'all, man. So just try to be bored sometimes. Try not to always be stimulating your mind with things that aren't productive, things that aren't really helpful for yourself. If you felt like you got anything to add to this, anything that you feel like could benefit the community or other people, please comment down below. If you mess with my content, you want to find more of these stuff that's going to help your life out, give you more peace of mind, then subscribe to me. I'll be dropping videos as much as I can. And if you appreciate this video, then like, comment down below, subscribe to me, follow my Instagram, do all that jazz. I'll catch y'all. Stay safe.